basically the basic version, the fundamental frequency, right? So pa is a pitch. However, every pitch exists in a zone of correctness. So it's not off, but it's not centered. And you will notice where if you like really hear your own singing closely, that we all might not sing the major scale in the same exact pitch values, which means if I sing it more nursery rhymish, it'll sound like this: do re mi fa sol la ti do ti la sol fa mi re do, right? So that's very centered pitches. However, you will notice that some people overpitch some pitches and underpitch some pitches, and a lot of this is also culturally ingrained. For example, how would I sing it? Let me sing it and let's see. Do, re, mi. My mi is a little underpitched, but it's not wrong. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Is it sounding off? But it's not ping, ping, ping. It's not the center fundamental frequency values as would be in a keyboard. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. That mi was again little underpitched but didn't sound off. There are people who've built their entire, for example, people who sing blues, they do tend to underpitch certain parts of the scale. Oh, right? If they would sing, oh, it takes the blues away from it. A lot of Latin American type of music is overpitched, right? They would not sing the central pitch throughout a song, right? What's an Okay, let me just sing the first line of A Girl from Ipanema. Tall and tan and young and lovely. You see, they're always centered pitches. The girl from Ipanema goes walking in. But if you allow, without getting off, tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes, so it's a hair of a difference. But the pitch feel is central to making your musicality show up, right? And at the same time, I'd also like to give the example of Erykah Badu, where she's literally grazing the zone of correctness of a pitch, right? And I keep thinking of Bag Lady whenever I think of this concept. So she doesn't go, bag lady, you gon' miss your bus. That's too central. She goes, bag lady, you gon' miss your bus. Yeah? So it's so grazing the zone of correctness, and she's just playing with your mind, and that's entirely how her style is formulated. So to give such a long answer to Tess's question is, first you wanna find the correct pitch, in the sense you're hearing it well, and then you want to allow that zone of correctness to establish itself, which is going to be like the imprint for your voice. And in neither of these are you going to sound Besura ever. Okay. Any other questions? All good?
This kind of reminds me of any sort of other art form, like let's say with makeup or like with painting or something, where they say, you must know the rules before you can bend them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us do a quick recap of the vowel flux, and then we are going to get into breathing, which is the main topic of study today. Is this note okay for everybody? Okay.
And I hope you've all been practicing the static vowels so that by now you have an andaza already of how the vowel exists naturally in different ranges. So, ao, e, ao, e, I, Okay. Now, notice how the A impacted everybody else. Right? If you're trying to filter through the A, that's different. But right now, we are trying to find the neutral state. So let's find the A first. No height perception, no preparation. The O separately. Good job. I can see the R derivation in the O in most of you. That's really good. Now, basically, O is similar to A. O. Do that. Hey, let's find the neutral position, neutral behavior of A. Getting a little bit of shape. I want her language. Ek, gate, eight. Tumble into the new natural. This time still the O is impacting the A. Yeah, it's still becoming A. Let's do again. Gate, eight, eight. Correct. Now let's go to O, A. O, A, O, A. Let the heaviness of that shape not impact the A. So notice that I've given you the so-called lower note on the higher position of the tongue. E is the highest position, this is the lowest note in the melody. So, and then back to between that lowest E, which is the highest position, and the return note, which is the lowest position. Allow the tongue to fall. I still feel that everything, the A hasn't fallen enough yet. Very nice. Because you allowed that much chaos, is it feeling lighter inside your throat to sing it? Okay. Let's do just change one note. Okay, so now quickly, without going through that long process that we went through, learn to prime your mind to tumble from natural action. Say both of them are let the tongue relax there and lift to the A position on its own. Even higher position, lower note. Return to neutral. Cut. Exactly. And because you allow this change, your voice sounds uniform outside. If you do not allow the change, the voice gets divided, therefore giving rise to illusions such as head voice and other voices. Next one. Notice how the first R and the last R did not feel the same. Let's do it again, and just to notice. Noticing that the E is not E enough, it's A, E, right? So let's again do the step by step. Can you hear high note syndrome playing out? There's a lightning. So, and it's nothing, it's an octave. We've conquered the octave in week 1. So, no special singers. It's the lightest position, lightest highest position, lowest note, don't get. Let it come forth again. Let's do it in a loop of 3. Notice that between the E and the R, let there be more falling. Same height, do not increase the pitch height idea. And every time you're doing repeat, and this is a common rule for practice as well, we repeat things to get better at it, but we do not work on making the condition, the internal condition better. So if you're doing 5 reps of any exercise, just like in a workout, you want to get better form and better form every time. The rep is in order for you to create more chaos inside. So if you do, ask the body for even half the work, same output. Try. Rest of the lot, everything is feeling like it's slipping out because you have allowed wiggle room. Last one. Noticing the last I is still higher. That's partly high pitch ideation. The other is same. Gesticulate the same level. Good job, good job. Shweta, your system is looking really good today. I'm not seeing so much of the activation and the back of the tongue tightness and this tightness. I'm not seeing that so much in you today. Once again, now we'll repeat it 3 times, and with every rep, you're going to learn to ask for half the word same output. Nice, that's better. And map that, and record that feeling of slippingness in your body. Right? Let's do it one last time just to map that onto our body. Let it be completely chaotic and let it all be on one height. And on every rep, ask for half the word same output. That's it. You went across that octave and you didn't feel it. Okay, so now about creating exercises for yourself, this was a random melody. I made one melody and then I just followed the pattern and extended the interval size. Right? So in this way, you can make thousands and thousands of exercises for yourself, and the exercise is not going to necessarily have to stay within the major scale. Right? That's the one thing that everybody practices the major scale so much while singing, is that you can bring in an ear training element. The third very important thing with melodic variation is that when you're giving yourself permission to stay loose and chaotic, no matter what the quality of the melody is. If you consider it tough or tricky, like people say, Gana thora tricky hai, right? Typically, their systems are going to, because the brain is saying tricky does not mean safe and all that, tightness. So you're practicing away that tightness, doing all sorts of random and weird melodies. If you find a song tricky, take the melody of that song and make it into an exercise. So your musicality will grow with your technique. Don't let the melodic restrictions kind of be your technique study work. Okay. Are you all confident that you'll be able to practice this? Okay. The next thing I wanted to touch down on before I go into breathing is the vowel consonant freedom part. Right? So let us do some of the consonants that we didn't experience last time. Let's do the sibilants, for example. Okay? So please don't do this. I will do this. I shouldn't be doing this. I know I'm doing this. Let's do mixed consonants. Let's do Galileo. G, Galileo. Okay, that is the lyric of your exercise. Galileo. Now here, after your vowel freedom, we are adding interrupters, right? So, ga could have been, if the G is too tight, ga, right? So you want ga, you want it to fall from that velar consonant down to the native position of a. L, li, le. So there are two L's, but they are falling into different consonants. And O, which is also a. Correct? So that is the point of the structuring of this exercise. Galileo. Whenever you're doing a G sound, if you're getting a sound before that, I heard one voice do that today. That means that the air is backing up and you're trying to shoot out air even before you sing. Right? Why? Because ga is closed, so if you shoot out air there, it'll do that, right? So, ga, try to avoid the right? Galileo. Good job. Now the main thing that your bodies are projecting into me is that pitch is rising. I want you to forget that. Galileo. Yes? Became more powerful. Now E, E, O is basically E, E, A, which means again it's an opposite relationship between the height of the tongue and the assigned pitch. So Galileo, so give me the E, E, O, Galileo. Got better inside? Now let us just give it a rhythm and repeat. Galileo, Galileo, oh, Galileo. Again when you do just the O separately, you go oh. Don't stop your breath just because there is a staccato note there. Flow on. Galileo, Galileo, oh, Galileo, Galileo, oh. Galileo, Galileo, oh, Galileo, Galileo. Okay, it means that oh, you're getting a revision of your very first session. There should not be oh, that glottal attack should be there. Secondly, whether there's sound or silence, air can keep moving in its natural time. If you're going oh, that means you're stopping the airflow with the flow of sound. Don't do that. Let the air keep flowing. Galileo, Galileo, oh, Galileo, Galileo, oh. Galileo, 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 Galileo. Okay? Galileo, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5. Okay. Galileo, Galileo, once more. Galileo, Galileo, oh. Galileo, 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 Galileo. is going off, but because this is it's a complex exercise. There are a lot of things happening, and in order to ace it, you need to have airflow flowing freely, high pitch ideation gone, no phonatory, that slapping sound, glottal attack, etc. Now, if the pitches are going funny, you are not going to control your system, you're just going to ideate the correct pitch. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so let's get absolutely bang on pitch, and let's also get full chaos in the system. Galileo, Galileo, oh, Galileo, Galileo, oh. Galileo, 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 Galileo. Good job. I can feel quite a lot of slippage, which is great. Okay? This is a big milestone for you all. I'm really proud that you were able to do it, and you did it like in 2 reps, and that's really fantastic. Okay? Now let us try to structure another exercise. I'm always going to tell you about how to structure exercises so that you never have to go shopping again. Okay? Anybody just tell me any of the like look at the consonant map that we did and just give me any 2 types of consonants from that take your fancy. Sorry, did someone say something? Who's
E and R.
E and R? Okay, no, those are vowels then. Look at the consonants.
Right.
Hi, who's Kiki?
Me, that's me. Hi, Kiara.
Oh, hi!
I joined from my phone, I did not know that was my name. Kiki, that's really funny.
That's very cute. Okay, choose any 2 consonant types, my loves.
Nasals.
Okay, nasals. And?
Proximals. Alveolar.
What did you say, Tess?
Approximals.
Approximate, that's a very good one. And Swara said alveolar. Okay, done. So let's take the first 2. Nasal, approximate. So, nowhere. The N is the nasal, the approximate is the W of the where, right? Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Okay, let's learn the melody together first. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Okay, so now what do you want to first do? You want to denasalize the O after that. So many people habitually will go no, nowhere. So I want oh no, oh no. Yes, returning to the original no. Excellent. Oh no, nowhere. Now what the approximate can tend to do is it can tend to unnecessarily accelerate the air. So instead of where, you know, where, that often happens, right? So allow for the air after the approximate to be free and not to be worried by the new zipping of air that the approximate might have created. Okay. Now the denasalization was good, but the O was not similar to R. Nowhere. And now using that R, nowhere. 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 Where? Nowhere. drag anywhere. I'm not harping on the rhythm right now, but just kind of make your own rhythm, say approximately to what I'm saying. Hear it? Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Once again, nowhere, 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 nowhere. Okay, let's hear it. Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Good job. Did it all feel similar? That was really good. It sounded really, really excellent. Okay. Now going to Swara's idea of alveolar. Okay, give me one more so that we can pair the alveolar with something else.
Fricatives.
Fricative. Okay. So alveolar and fricative. Wow. Okay, let me reverse that.
It's a very bad combination. Sorry.
Good game. Let's you basically any word starting with V or F and having any L, N, J, D, T in it.
Fun.
Form. Yeah, that's alveolar nasal fricative. Follow.
Friend.
Yeah. Friend. Yeah, friend is also that's also like got a bunch of things. So follow is fine. Follow, fellow, right? Fellow or fodder, something like that. Okay, so fading is fine. Let's just do steps. Faded. Actually, let me give you faded because there's a stoppage of air there as well. Okay. The word faded is going to have a fricative followed by two alveolars, and ending with an alveolar, what happens is that it's a right? So it's also going to stop your airflow. So you are going to override the effects of that and allow your melody to flow. Let's make a melody. Faded, faded, faded. Do far is only do. Faded, faded. Let's do just these two. Faded, faded. Faded. 1-4. Do fa. Faded. Sama. Faded, faded, faded. I said so last time. Faded, 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 do mi faded, that is sama, re and tha, ga and sa. Okay, do, fa, re, la, do, mi, do. Okay, faded, faded, faded. Faded, faded, faded. Come back to that re, do, fa, re, faded, faded, faded. And last one is going to the octave faded, ga, sa, mi, do. Faded, faded, faded. Correct. We could have done faded, 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 right? But that didn't help, that wouldn't have helped our ears to develop together. So we just added up a jumbled up melody in order to also give that benefit to us. Now, faded. So you notice that the vowel is similar. So now we don't have to work so much on the vowel change. We can just work on the mechanics of the further. If F becomes too much, fade, fade, right? So minimizing the F, faded, faded. Yes, as you minimize the F, you notice more tone in the melody. Faded, 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 faded. Good job. Faded, faded. And now, as we are looping it, between faded, 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 where there is a possibility of the airflow stopping, let it keep flowing in your mind. Faded, faded, faded. Faded, faded, faded. Good, and now add a vibrato in the end, so fun. Faded, faded, faded. Faded, faded, faded. Yeah. Okay? So in this way you can increase the complexity of your exercises now that you know all the thumb rules. You're noticing everything that you've ever done is getting applied in the correct free application of this exercise. Okay? So like this, you will make stuff for yourself. Whenever you're singing in Hindi, you're going to make exercises in Hindi for yourself if you're singing in two languages. Right? So same thing, you're just going to look at a consonant, make a couple of words, and then assign melodies that are not typical. Sometimes you might find melodies that are so beautiful, you'll be like, why the hell haven't I sung this before? And you end up making a style for yourself in this way. Okay, let's get into the study material for today.
A question I had. So a couple of times when we're recording, so it's a two-part question. Some of the times the producer's inputs or the engineer's inputs are that, while you may be singing correctly, but it's not getting captured in the mic as emphatically as one would want. Like for example, I was in my first, that was the very first song I recorded. I had to say cheeks. So I was saying cheeks, it was fine, but my producer said that say cheeks because the emphasis of that was not as prominent maybe.
Okay. So there could be two ways that anybody could look at, how they want your consonants to sound, right? So if you notice that rather than emphasis, he probably wanted it to be more either percussive or clear. Cheeks, 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 cheeks. So then what you do is you just do many types of CH and audiate clarity. If I make a woofy ch, cheeks, 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 there's not so much presence in that. If I try to audiate brightness in it, cheeks, 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 cheeks. So similarly, you didn't have to really add effort. You just audiated even within that consonant sound, the quality that they wanted. A lot of singers who sing Punjabi folk, and have come to me for training, they say that in the studio they keep saying ki tod ke gao. That has become studio parlance now. And like for example, when they want to say kar, they in a Punjabi kind of accent, similar to my husband and his families, they say kar, 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 right? So now that is not so much about the torna of the kar. It is about the loosening of the vowel. Kar versus kar, kar. The becomes a. Audience को लगता है कि वो कुछ तोड़ के गा रहा है, लेकिन वो असली में ऐसा नहीं है. So a lot of the time they are asking for, it's our kind of job to split hairs to exactly understand what they want and then to employ technique as we need. Interestingly then, since you brought this up, you guys can make exercises for let's say D, okay? There can be a muted D. There can be a right? So whenever you do consonant studies, and since you know that consonants only make rhythm, add in a rhythm element to it. And so let's do da 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 da. And first with the muted D, da 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 da. How do you do that? Audiation. Don't think of it as a muscular anything. Da 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 da. A muted D. Yes, and now a percussive D with a lot of like sparkling up. Da 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 da. Not that. So you don't have to even switch on your jaw so much. You just audiate it and your tongue is everything's gonna change accordingly. Okay? Let's go from muted to bright. Da 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 da. That's it. Hardly took much. Okay? Let's do j, right? J, 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 j. When you're making it more percussive and more sparkly, allow it not to mess up your airflow too much, right? So j, 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 j. Let the remain quite free after that. Come. And so if you say ja versus ja. So if a lot of people who westernize their Hindi singing, they always do this ja, 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 right? It's more j, j, kind of like more percussive versus in Hindi they say ja, jahan, ja, 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 right? This is another explanation.
Usually my areas where I like to also bring in an end to the word but also not make it too loud are the ones with the ta. And the areas where I give most notes is on the word, not whatever. Word.
Yeah. Let's use the word very, right? Very. The V would accelerate the air into and the vowel would get impacted into the. Let's find the air. Let's again explore the natural position, natural behavior of the air. Airy. That's a lot of tone. Small V. Very. There you go. So that will maximize your voice.
How can you differentiate between a V and a WH? Just so that it's distinctly clear.
That's a w sound. Water, where, when. It's not water, where, when. So w is a bilabial approximant. Hoop mane kara. W. Say that. Yes. Water. World. Yes. Not world. That is vase. Very.
I think this is where the vavi comes into, right?
Yes, vavi va. The ideal way to do it is not to let the va affect the RE and allow maximum bungee jumping between RE. Vavi va.
So actually when I was taught that, it was not even supposed to be for the vowels. They were like, this is how you say v and w.
Yeah. In India, we have a lot of mixing up of v and w. A lot of people say, I'm going to use Varun. Like it's Varun. They say what. So that happens. What happened? Why are you saying this? That's also a very Indian thing to do. So, but while singing, we can just kind of use it the right way. ठीक है जी, चले हम breathing studies में. Okay. So if you've noticed that we've come to the last couple of sessions of our course and now we are talking about breathing, right? And that is because breathing and muscle are so deeply interconnected that till the time, and remember Bernoulli's principle, right? So if air has to flow and if muscle is tight and constricting, then it is already creating an imbalance in the airflow. It is accelerating it where it does not have to accelerate, right? So So therefore, once we free up the muscle and then with vowel, we give it so much wiggle room and dancing room, then we start talking about air. Because now you have made enough chaos in your system to only isolate the air. I made a little Word document for you guys today, so I'm going to just share my screen. Do you see this? Okay, so let us look at breathing in the context of our body, right? The body is densely packed with a lot of things, right? We are an efficiency machine, so even in terms of space, we are densely packed, and the diaphragm is in this way sitting within a whole bunch of organs. Okay? Now, we have often imagined the diaphragm to be like this, somewhere here and like a plate that moves up and down. Okay? Now that is not true. The diaphragm is a three-dimensional entity. The diaphragm is a double dome structure. Let's look at my share screen again. So if we remove all the organs and just look at the diaphragm, look at it in this way. It is skewed in this way. One part is higher, one part is lower. The part that is lower is the part under your heart. Okay? And the diaphragm is a double dome. There are two domes like this, as you notice. And if you look at the side view, it's curved and it curves downwards right to the lower part of your back. Okay? And this entire muscle is opening and closing, rising and falling. So there are many axes of motion. Correct? So we have to first challenge that initial assumption that it's a plate, it is small, and we do and somehow we are controlling the diaphragm. That is not true. The diaphragm is a massive three-dimensional muscle that is going up and down and also changing its kind of curvature. Okay? Secondly, in singing parlance, we really vilify the chest. That is important because we don't want it to be anxious kind of breathing, right? Heaving kind of breathing. However, if we just step back from the singing ideology and we look at the body, we realize that breathing is pulmonothoracic, meaning it is the lungs, it is all of this area and also below. So, if you talk to any physiotherapist, if you talk to any doctor, they will say that both modes of breathing are allowed, both have different effects, right? When my trainer used to come home to train me, he used to tell me, "Aise breathe karo." And I'd be like, why is he telling me that? And I really got very concerned about that. And I used to say, but we've been taught how to breathe and only through our bellies, right? But interestingly, when my breath was heaving really hard, somehow that did help me. And then my husband was watching a boxing match at some point, and I was like, they're all doing that to calm their breathing down. So there are lots of different manners in which the breath can be used, and breathing is the first life supporting function. There has to be redundancy in the number of ways in which we can breathe. So we need to understand breathing as both. Okay? We also forget as singers that breathing is three-dimensional. We think of it as stomach opening, going out, or maybe waist opening and going out, this thing laying soft and loose. But we forget that the lungs, no matter what we are imagining, the lungs are expanding and contracting to make us breathe. No matter what choreography externally we have decided for it. Right? And the lungs are expanding and contracting in three dimensions. So also here, also this way, also here. So you are breathing as a three-dimensional entity. Let us kind of just experience that for a moment. So, forget about your tummies and all. First, let your lungs fill up with air. And now, also imagine, because the ribcage is three-dimensional, ribcage is here too. Let them fill up with air. Let the ribs yawn open on both sides, front and back. Do you notice that you've completely forgotten about your back while breathing? Now to the sides as well. So let it be radial. Okay? And now notice how much better your diaphragm frees up and moves up and down as you then allow the bag, yourself to think of your entire top body above your legs as the bag. Now allow breathing to happen in 3 dimensions, including your chest, including your upper back, including your sides, and including your tummy going in and out. Everything. And breathing is opening up from inside. Don't think of it as controlling it from outside in. Do you feel a difference? Okay, now I'm going to share screen again. So this was the diaphragm, and these were the intercostal muscles that we are also allowing to move as we breathe, right? We do not want to keep any part of us dead because we want to maximize the flow of air, the intaking, the exhaling, all of it. We want to maximize our resources. So therefore, breathing, you have to appreciate, is pulmonothoracic, right? The body, the chest, the back, everything. All this while, we have been trying to control our breathing using these muscles. We have been, and sometimes some singers try to squash the side muscles as well. Okay, but mostly because there's an imagination that the diaphragm is like this and it's a little square, that they start squashing these muscles a lot. But depending on different ideologies, people are squashing all these muscles. Is it already feeling counterintuitive? We've already discussed this before, but doesn't it, now that you have so much visual proof, doesn't it seem counterintuitive that this fellow, and there's a strap of muscles up top, and we are just trying to push those muscles in order to control this 3-dimensional entity? Does it make sense? It makes no sense. Secondly, to just refresh your memories, all of this stuff is not solid and like concrete. It is like viscous. It is like a thick viscous fluid. You can liken it to that. So everything has the ability to slip around, right? So when you squash these muscles inwards, then there is a wave created inside that so-called quasi-viscous fluid, which therefore, if this fluid is wobbling and has all sorts of undulations in it, won't it affect the motion of the diaphragm? So you do not want to rely on your ab muscles in order to facilitate your breathing. It only comes in the way. Breathing is all about maximum displacement. The more you have displacement, the better access to your breath you have. Okay? Before we go to the next part of breathing, let us just quickly ingrain that in our bodies. And the reason why we are doing breathing now is because the next skill I want to give you is volume. So, for volume, air pressure has to bump up, right? For increase in pitch, air pressure has to down regulate. Why? Because vocal folds are getting thinner. But for the same pitch, if you are thinking louder, the vocal folds will bulk up and they will demand a slight increase of air pressure. That's why volume and pitch are opposed in terms of their physiology. They're opposite. Let us quickly just understand this through speech. I want you to say a medium high. Hi. We did this to end the last session, right? So we're just picking up from there. Say hi to me at a neutral volume. Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Very nice from everybody. Nice and free. Watch your systems again as you say it. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Zip of air. Amazing. Notice the zip of air. Mark the pitch that you chose to speak this. Now say pitch. just softer. Hi. Hi. Go. Hi. Hi. Notice the same pitch. Don't go hi. Hi. Don't do that, right? Hi. Softer. Hi. Think softer. Same pitch.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. You notice it? How the air below, right? The air became softer, lighter, breezier. Okay, so let's go between loud high and soft high. High, 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 high.
Hi. Hi.
So now do you notice that for the same pitch, different volumes were associated with different air flows, right? The air was zipping out a little stronger when you were saying your neutral, slow and high. Therefore, volume is not created, volume is an outcome of thinking aloud. As soon as, and see, pitch was the same in both, right? So the vocal fold length was the same. When you thought louder, the vocal folds became thicker, because when you're audiating loudness, your vocal folds are therefore responding to it. You said hi, even before you said it, your vocal folds are thickened up to say, okay, she's going to go in for something intense. And when you did hi, you thought lighter, vocal folds became thinner on their own. Okay? Therefore, you noticed that in order to speak, because your speech is already working well, hi, more air, hi, less air, same pitch. Okay? And you didn't have to use your shout muscles, which you often use to say hi, hi. You didn't have to use your whisper muscle, hi, hi, to hold back in. Okay? Now let's go to the next level. Let's go neutral high, meaning speaking volume, quiet high, and a big high, like you're speaking to many people. जब बड़ी आवाज निकालनी है, बस सोचना है कि बहुत सारे लोगों से बात करना है. Okay? So this is how it's going to sound. Hi, hi, hi. Same pitch. Okay? Don't go hi. Don't increase the pitch. Okay? Hi, hi, hi. 3 leads. Come.
Hi.
Yes, don't increase the pitch. I heard one hi and one hi. I want to sing. Hi, hi, hi. Same pitch. Yeah. Are you noticing that you're not use muscle as such? Right? Muscle is inconsequential in the creation of volume. Once again, hi, hi. Sorry, hi, hi, hi.
Hi.
No compression on the loud one. Hi. Many people. Talk to many people. Giving you the hint that soft and loud are equally easy. Then tomorrow you have a belty song, you're not going to think, oh shit. Or if your voice is not feeling good enough, don't say, I can't sing a big song. You can. As long as you mobilize the air well. So write this down. The formula for volume is think loud and breathe out. Right? Because the think loud is sending a signal to your vocal folds to thicken. Breathe out is giving the proportional increase in air pressure so that you never have to use muscle. If you use accessory muscles and extra muscles for that, you will sound shouty. There are these strap muscles that very often get activated in singers, and that sounds like I'm going to go from medium to high. Right? Gives a shouty sound. You don't want that shouty sound. To have a full powerful sound, you need these muscles, these front muscles to be relaxed. Right? Different types of sounds. Okay? The third thing, in terms of how you will influence your room, is that whenever there's a shouty sound, the human ear hears that as daant rahe, chilla rahe, right? And so the human ear of the audience is going to recoil from you. So you're thinking I'm giving my all to this performance and I'm belting all the power out that I can, but at a subconscious level they are thinking that you're scolding them or shouting at them, and they do recoil. Okay? Now I'm going to sing that note again in a shouty way and in just a air billowing out way. Hey! Did you already feel like yeah? And hey! It's a warmer sound. Hey! Come on! Hey! Come on! Right? The hey, come on, even though you're signaling for them to connect, they cannot. So therefore, your expressiveness and the quality of your interaction with your audience and how much you harness volume and how much endurance you have therefore is all related to your air pressure. Okay? And importantly, air pressure without missing. Okay? Now, let us get into air pressure. Yeah.
A lot of genres, like I don't know, especially pop punk and those sort of things, require a lot of very like, I don't know how to explain. Hey, it's like a very shouty sound, like you said, like they're scolding because it is about a message. But how does that affect the voice? And I've been thinking.
Fantastic question. That is a coloration idea, right? Now, if you're trying to bring out a bratty kind of sound, you will color it like that. Yeah! Hey! That's what belting is actually. Belting is creating a bratty kind of sound. How? Where? Hey! So what happens is, if I leave my pharynx loose, and we're going to do this in the last session, we are going to study belting and all these other effects, coloration effects. But it's different from hey, hey, which is strained, and yes, there's an element of that mids being overbumped, but it's got a different feeling, it's got a choked feeling. What a rock singer, a funk singer, or anybody punk, is going to do is yeah, yeah, yeah. Now let me do it with the loose pharynx. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That has power and depth, but it does not have that brat energy, right? So they go wah, yeah, yeah. I didn't bump volume. It was only the belt that created that perceived shift of volume. Okay? So therefore, hey, hey, mama becomes hey, hey, mama. And without any change of volume from my end. It sounds louder, it sounds brattier. Yeah, 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 yeah. Same volume, but illusion of loudness. Okay? We're going to do this more in the later part. But this is just to tell you, Ananya, that it's not always volume that creates that kind of attitude. Its attitude is more tonal than volume. Okay, so now let us start experimenting with the breath. Now we are learning to upregulate the breath, upregulate breath pressure. So I want you to give me a, as though you're trying to box at something. Okay. Now notice that the depth of your bag was just about this much. I heard most people go, right? I want you to now deepen it. Imagine that this entire part is the bag. Think of it as a paper bag. Don't think of it as anything very muscular. Let it fill up and let it give you air pressure as you zip it up. Good job. Leave your jaws hanging. Yes, Shweta, that's better. Okay? Okay. Don't blow like Swara. Allow it to just go. You're filling up this bag and then you're letting the air rush out. Good job, good job. Now just, that was kind of like thak gaye. I want you to imagine you're just going for like almost like boxing it. Good job, good job. Give me that. That's it. Good job. Okay, now everybody, are you feeling a slight deepening and more access to air. Now allow the top of your back to also become part of that paper bag. Let's start breathing in into the top of our back and into the front. So front and back are both moving. And now ask for a strong out breath. Yes. Let that bag go. Let that air rush out. Yes. Okay. Now allow the sides also to be part of the bag. Okay. So this entire thing in 3 dimensions is a thin brown paper bag. It's opening as you are breathing in, and you are asking for a big shot of air after that. Yes, allow it to open as you breathe in and go. Okay? I hear what's happening. Something happened, something made you laugh. So just quickly share so that I know what's up.
No, I was just blowing at them.
Oh. Okay. Now secondly, guys, when I'm saying that imagine the bag is filling up with air, literally just in your imagination. You don't have to open or tighten or in muscle. Okay? So let the thing fill up and let go. Okay?
Punch out the air. Any direction on what to be engaged or if not to be engaged?
Nothing to be engaged. Okay? Because?
So I mean, how I am doing is I am really engaging something in my.
Don't do that. And that.
Yeah. कपालभाति नहीं करते like it's happening.
हाँ नहीं वैसे मत करो गाने के लिए तो पक्का मत करो वैसे ठीक है. Right now we are just exploring displacement because we are saying brown paper bag, nice and thin, opening, and when you are requesting for this kind of right, your diaphragm is already exercising its own intelligence and collapsing at a particular rate. So this is the only way to really isolate the diaphragm rather than to overwhelm it with other muscular interferences. Okay? So suppose you just have to, let's say somebody is hurt and you're soothing their wound by blowing on it. Okay? Do that for a second. Right? It's a gentle breath. The breath pressure is minimal. Okay? Now you're blowing out 30 candles on your 30th birthday on a birthday cake. Okay, that was more air pressure. You did not have to engage muscle. You just had to expect that air pressure. The diaphragm back calculated and it shot up at a different rate. Same thing for bumping up air pressure for singing. So, think you're blowing out many candles. Yes, the body will follow its contract only because it's following the breath. Breath is finishing, things are things are falling back into their place after that displacement. Therefore, the body looks like everything's falling. Okay, once again, filling up three-dimensionally. Okay, good job. Riya, if you could sit back a little bit, that would be better because since you're lean forward, it's not, like the back is not expanding it. Once again, front, back, sides. Okay, very good. And that was excellent. Now, let us imagine the bag is now deeper. It is down to our navel and our waist. So as you are breathing in, let that entire bag open.